everyone. Welcome back to the Glass Seats podcast. This is our show where two hockey aficionados discuss their perspectives on headlines surrounding the NHL, including recent stories, game highlights, league culture, and other topics trending amongst the fans. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and this week in hockey, we are almost ready for the regular season.
So close. So close you can taste it.
Have you been catching up on any preseason, enjoying any of the preseason action?
I've been watching more highlights, to be totally honest, here and there. But I have been checking the schedule over and over. You know, now that it's actually October, it feels a lot more closer. And it's nice to see, like, especially when you check on Google or NHL where it says NHL preseason and then it just disappears.
Yeah.
And then the actual games start. It's like, finally.
And every day it's one swipe less to get there.
One swipe, yeah, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. One swipe less to get there. But very excited, ready for the season to start.
Yeah, and by the time you're listening to this episode, we'll just be a few days away, just a weekend and Monday away from the regular season starting.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing today? We decided to take a little bit of a break from the NHL news cycle. You know, It's preseason. We talked about some stories last week.
Yeah.
I think we've armed our audience with majority what you need to know to get into the season and get started, right? But I think we'll take this episode to kind of check in a little bit.
Yeah, have a little chat.
We're going to talk about, you know, why we're watching this season. What are we excited for? What are we not excited for?
Yeah.
And just generally, you know, ignite our love for hockey the week before the season starts.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's get started with the positive.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most this NHL season?
So I know you said, or you asked, have you been watching preseason? I haven't watched too much preseason, but I have watched one person in particular, Connor Bedard. And I've watched some of those games that he was playing, and he said, you know, I could have been better. And I was like, dang, you already put up 2 assists. One was on an overtime game winner, and you're saying you didn't have a great game, and he was dangling through players. And oh my God. Wow. The preseason he has already been putting up is, he's been an exciting player to watch. And, you know, hopefully the expectations don't undermine his on ice performance. But it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to the pressure. Yeah. So that's my positive right now.
It's a difficult situation they put him in, right?
Yeah.
Like this is 18, 19. It's probably 18, right?
I think 18.
18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That they've said, save the franchise. And this is an original 6 franchise, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Just came off of 3 cup wins, right?
And your previous leadership is gone.
Yeah.
Taves and Kane are gone, and they immediately put him in. You know, ideally, I think they would have liked some overlap between those two, right?
Yeah, like maybe a season would have been nice, but even then, there's like, this is really, in a weird way, that he's 18 and this is his team now.
Yeah, it's his team.
Yeah.
And like they brought in some guys like Taylor Hall, Corey Perry, Nick Foligno, but like, everybody knows that this is Bedard's team, right?
Was that were those players added after they won the draft lottery? I can't remember.
Yes, they were added during free agency.
Okay, got it. So that was intentional, probably.
Yes,
just to make sure he's not, because they're obviously going to build this team around him, but they were just trying to make sure like he's not overwhelmed.
Yeah, and it's just veteran presence, right?
Yeah.
You know, like you can't just put him out there with a bunch of scrubs and be like, "Good luck."
Yeah, I did see they also not refused, but they declined to name a captain this season.
Yes.
So I guess, I mean, that's good. They have 4 assistants, I think. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts and learns this year.
I think they're just giving everybody a shot here, right? Like, there's no way that you would have named Bedard captain now.
Of course not. That would have been stupid.
Yeah, so it would have been someone like Seth Jones, maybe.
Yeah.
But it would feel temporary, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, this is going to be Bedard's team eventually.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will feel as temporary as Mark Giordano in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Being named a captain for half a season, but
I think that, you know, expansion franchise is different, right?
Is it?
Like, yeah, because, you know, you want your fans to be like, okay, who are the stars in this team? Who do we root for? And it's already putting Mark Giordano. And I think when Seattle did their expansion draft, it was intentional. They picked him being like, this guy will lead our first season.
Right.
Right. And everybody knew that he was going to be sent at the trade deadline anyway, but that's like months away, right? So now for all the beginning of the season interviews and everything, they're like, who do we go to? Mark Giordano. He just became this lightning rod for all that attention, right?
Got it. Okay. That makes sense, actually.
That's exactly what Chicago's doing too, right? Like, you can't just lightning rod. I mean, they're still going to try, but on Connor Bedard, right? If there's all these interviews and he doesn't feel like doing one, they're like, okay, here's Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
It's not like a nobody. People know Taylor Hall. That's a first overall pick.
Yeah. Won the Hart a couple years ago.
and, you know, has been famous in a lot of trades.
Yeah.
That's a name recognition player, right? Here's Corey Perry, Stanley Cup champion, our Rocket Richard winner. Like, there's names you can put out there in front of him, whereas Bedard doesn't have to do everything himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the media presence, journalism also changes in Chicago. Obviously, hopefully it doesn't get to the point of, you know, where it drives players away like it did in Toronto. But I feel like this is a star of that caliber. Journalism in the NHL is going to change. And like you said, it's still an original six team. That's a lot of pressure on an 18-year-old kid. So,
yeah, like we're talking like back to 07, 08 when like Kane and Taves were coming on the scene, right?
I can't remember where it was. Chicago, they weren't like on the verge of bankruptcy. That was Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yeah, Pittsburgh when Crosby came in.
But Chicago was not doing well at all, like in terms of finances and
Chicago
stuff.
pre-Kane and Taves was not a good team.
Yeah, but they were like struggling to even like sell tickets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
They had a lot of issues, and like that dynasty run in the late 2000s into the early 2010s, like really revitalized that franchise. That's an 06 franchise, right?
That is true. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big media market, especially for hockey.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how he handles it, but I mean, it's been really good to see him kind of thrive so far in the preseason.
Yeah, did you see that nasty toe drag he had?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was like, no way.
Oh my god,
that was his like first or second
preseason game.
Yeah,
and he's just toe dragging people.
Yeah, and I don't think he was trying to show off. I think that was just natural to him.
Yeah, he was just like, I gotta get this shot, and this is the best way around the defenseman.
Yeah. What was it like? There's a phrase where you can't teach that in hockey school or something like that. It just
I don't know.
It's more, like gifted or something. Yeah, that
talent.
Kid,
that's talent.
That kid is talented. Yeah. Besides that, I'm also excited to. I'm just curious to see how players on new contracts, new teams do, and we talked about it in the past, but there's a decent amount of change in the Toronto, Pittsburgh, Boston, Chicago, New York Rangers areas. Yeah, the East Coast, or most of the East Coast, has had a lot of change this offseason. I'm excited to see it.
Is there one contract in particular you're excited to see how it works out?
I mean, obviously the Carlson one, but just with the way Toronto is cap strapped and the Matthews extension, I'm really curious to see how they're going to, navigate this.
Yeah, like what happens to Nylander and then Tavares and Marner the next season.
Yes, yeah. Because I saw they were releasing the headshots and Domi was there and Bertuzzi was there, and I was like, oh, they're still there. I kind of forgot. They're really strapped for cap, and the season's about to start. I don't know what they're going to do. So
yeah, they're talking about not being able to have like a seventh D on their roster.
Oh my god!
Like they might just have the 20 people, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if there's an injury and they're not LTIR eligible, you just have to play short a game.
Damn.
Because
for 82 games.
For however long that person's out. Okay. Because if they're not LTIR, then they still count against the cap.
Jesus. That's, again, I'm interested to see how they navigate it.
Yeah.
Good luck. If I'm a Toronto fan, I'm biting my nails off for sure. Yeah. But, and also, just interested to see, the post Bergeron era in Boston and, things like that. And I guess Jonathan Quick and, a couple other vets also signed in New York. And there was a lot of vets that departed from New York. There's no Tarasenko, there's no Kane.
Yeah, but Blake Wheeler's in there too.
Blake Wheeler's in there. So, a lot of change on the East Coast, and excited to see that. But what are your one or two most excited for seasons this year?
I want to see if what I talked about at the end of last season comes to fruition.
Which one?
Which is the golden strategy.
Yes.
So I am big on like the management and trades and pickups. I love that aspect of the game. And when the Vegas won the cup, I said, this is going to change how contracts are managed.
Yep.
And teams are going to be a lot more ruthless. It's just a matter of flexibility, right? Ship people out if you have to. Pay what you have to do that. But if someone's better available, you take them, right?
Yeah.
And this season in particular, because of the flat cap, the cap did not increase between last season and this season.
Didn't it? I thought it went up like
very little if it did.
1 mil or something. Yeah.
But there's a lot of teams that are up against the cap, which is when you're going to see GMs get creative.
Yeah.
So I want to see I'm expecting a lot of big trades this season, basically. And I think that's very, very exciting, especially for markets where big names come in and out. and things like that.
Yeah.
We talked about Winnipeg having a lot of players potentially available.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Maybe even someone like the Washington Capitals might make players available, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always one team who thinks they're going to be good and they aren't.
Yeah.
And then who knows who that'll be this year.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a lot of trading and a lot of management moves to happen. And I'm excited to see kind of how that works out. Even last episode of this show, I talked about Tampa and how they're being kind of ruthless with Steven Stamkos.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Stamkos moving? Like, I don't think he will. But
no. I think they will eventually give him a contract, but they're really like, I am shocked by the way they've handled that so far.
Yeah.
I thought they were for sure giving him like at least a 3-4 year like loyalty deal, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
And
the fact that everybody else on Tampa got extensions.
Yeah.
Hagel, Colton.
Yeah. I was like, I was really shocked by that. I don't know. Hopefully he retires, in the Lightning jersey, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there at the end of the season.
They did this to him last time too, right? Yeah, because there was a whole thing about Stamkos might be going to Toronto. Yeah, before he signed his last contract.
I thought that was just a hometown. Like, there's always the hype. Oh, if a player's from Toronto, there's a chance he's going to Toronto.
But I think it built up so much because they left it so late. Like, it was getting to like free agency point where Toronto could have potentially signed him.
Got it. Okay, I
don't remember if it actually went past July 1st or not. But
I don't. Yeah, the only thing I remember from that is he went to go visit the Leafs, and he was like wearing flip flops and stuff, and they like had this super formal presentation that freaked him out, and he was like, "No."
So then it must have gone past July 1st, right? Because otherwise that would be considered tampering.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So it might have actually. Mm-hmm. Dang. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. That it's kind of strange to pay your captain like that, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
We will see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think besides that, I'm just excited to have hockey back.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good prospects.
Yeah.
Particularly for the Sharks.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how the new guys do. So I'm looking at William Eklund and Thomas Bordeleau.
That's true, yeah.
I want to see if there's some promise there because it's been pretty bleak for Sharks fans.
Yeah.
And it's looking pretty bleak in the future.
Yeah.
Like 2020 was when the Sharks collapsed, right? So, and we keep saying the Vlasic contract is the parameter for when we'll be competitive again.
Yeah.
So that means 3 years ago we collapsed, and there's still 3 years to go on the Vlasic contract.
Yeah.
So we're right in the middle of the dark days right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's something to look forward to there.
Yeah, exactly. In that case, let's actually go to the other end of the spectrum. What are you not looking forward to this season?
I think the biggest bummer this season, and I don't know if we talked about it on the show, was them doing away with the specialty warm-up jerseys.
Wow, I literally said the same thing. I said the same thing.
Yeah, I'm upset about that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
took the coward's way out.
Yeah.
And I love collecting jerseys. You see them every week on the show.
Yeah,
and now there's less jerseys out there.
Yeah.
Technically, they'll still be sold, but that's less exciting if nobody's worn them, right?
Yeah. So the thing is, it doesn't affect how the players play at all in the slightest.
Yeah.
But from a fan perspective, it's like you're watching how teams change their creative presentation and on social media pregame, and like the actual physical banners in the stands and stuff like that all changed too. And it was interesting, and we're not getting that this year. It feels like a part of the fan aspect has gone away again.
Yeah, because like 5 players wouldn't want to wear a Pride jersey.
Yeah. And is that actually why? Is that the real reason? Like,
I doubt they've put a real reason, but that's the real reason.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Let's be real, guys. Come on, read the room.
The elephant in the room. Yeah. Okay, got it. Fair enough. Besides that, the injuries have already sucked. It's terrible seeing Vasi out 10 weeks.
Yeah,
that is a brutal blow to the Lightning.
Logan Couture is out.
Yeah, that too.
And they haven't put a timetable on him yet.
Yeah, it's already starting and it hasn't even started.
Yeah.
So, not looking forward to those, but mostly the jersey one that really bums me out. So
yeah, and year after year, you see the league not really prioritize the fan experience
again. Yeah,
we talked about the ads already, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like
the gambling ads or like the board ads.
The board ads, the jersey ads, the helmet ads. There's ads everywhere now.
Is there though? The jersey ads is only on like Toronto and a couple big name teams, right?
Well, that's just because other teams couldn't sell the ad, but they're all allowed to.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it's specifically targeted like
no. Every team can get an ad, but not every team was able to find someone to buy the ad.
Oh, okay, got it.
So it's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just gonna be. It's not a question of if; it's It's when.
It's when.
Yeah. Dang,
You know?
that sucks.
So like the big teams obviously are able to find sponsors easier,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't think San Jose has a jersey ad.
No, I don't think they
They
will.
did have a helmet ad for a while. I don't know if they still do.
It's just SAP. Though.
SAP, right?
Yeah.
Who owns the team?
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is just another way where the fan experience is not really a priority.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. And honestly, I kind of want them to just like fix it in the sense that something different I would like to see this year from the NHL is just please, for the love of all that is holy, just make it easier to watch hockey. We also talked about this.
Yeah, the nighttime.
Yeah. It's just stop gatekeeping a sport you want us to watch. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the jersey thing is separate, but
Like
just,
why are you chasing money from advertisers and not your core audience?
yeah, exactly. I was like, the core audience is far more loyal than any of the advertisers. As soon as there's some sort of scandal, I guess you could say, or any sort of like controversy, publicity going on, they're out. They're out.
Yeah.
They're not going to advertise there. You know what I mean?
It doesn't even have to be your controversy. What if that company has a controversy?
Exactly. Yeah,
You know?
they're out. Like, and
Yeah.
then you're shit out of luck too. Why didn't you just support the people who are supporting you?
Yeah.
Essentially. And it's just start listening to the fans' requests and a little bit more in all aspects. And I'm not just saying, make it easier to watch hockey. Obviously, that's the biggest one. But the thing with the jerseys and like, there's so many good like mock-ups out there, and get the fans involved in it. This is our sport, right? We've been supporting your league for how long, and sometimes we don't exist.
We want to give you money.
Yes.
Just make it easy to give you money.
Yeah, this is like when you go to Chipotle and they're like, "Oh, it's $2 extra for guac," and we're like, "We know."
Just get it loaded up.
Just take it. Yeah. But like, they're like, "No, it's basically not selling guac."
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
no, they're selling the guac, but you got to go like 5 blocks down the road to the guac shop, and then
hand it to them so they can put it in your burrito.
Yeah, but if it's the third Wednesday of September, it's they're out of guac. That's what it's like.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, they make it way too hard, and it's just fix it, just fix it. Like, yeah, freaks me out. Like, I wish they would just do something about it, but
yeah. Sometimes you get there and it's not guac, it's fucking apples. You're like, okay,
this is not what I ordered.
Yeah.
That's a crime. If I bite into a Chipotle burrito and there's apples, I'm fighting someone. Absolutely.
What about pumpkin spice? It's the season.
That might be worse too.
Pumpkin spice Chipotle.
Oh my god. just off me. That is peak basic right there. Yeah. Just doesn't get any worse than that.
That's the Jersey ad I want. Pumpkin spice Chipotle.
Is there not a Chipotle ad already? I thought there was.
Is someone sponsored by Chipotle? I don't know.
I would not be surprised. So
my favorite so far is Toronto's. It just has milk.
Yeah. Again, I was like looking through the Instagram, the headshots, I guess, for this year, and they were all just clean jerseys and then milk.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I supposed? This is, guys, really?
Yeah. Just milk.
Milk, yeah.
With John Tavares, no expression on his face.
Milk. Oh, man. Whatever. Yeah. But, yeah, I would like to see the league care a little bit more about their fans, at least this year and going on from here.
And I actually want to address this question too, right?
Yes.
What I want to see different. This, I think, ties into the fan experience, right? We haven't really talked about this, but there's a new women's hockey league starting up, right? PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League. And what's different this time is they actually have a CBA.
Is this affiliated with the NHL?
Or? It is not.
It is not. Okay.
So right now it is their own thing. They have their own CBA, and they're starting with 6 teams, all on the East Coast. Kind of. One's in Minnesota, if that counts. But
Midwest.
Yeah, Midwest to the East. Nothing out West yet.
Got it.
So that's where they're starting, right? Historically, the NHL has not gotten involved in women's hockey because they didn't want to be seen as taking over the sport. Or at least that's the excuse they would give.
What do you mean? What does that even mean?
At least until, I should start with when I first started paying attention to women's hockey, there was 2 leagues. Mm-hmm. One in the US, one in Canada. Mm-hmm. The NHL didn't want to get involved with one over the other because it seemed like favoritism at the time. Okay. So this is all what the NHL said. I'm not saying they're valid.
This is public.
This is public. Okay. You can find Gary Bettman interviews.
Okay.
Where he said these things, right? Mm-hmm. But basically, after the CWHL folded, the Canadian one, then the NWHL became the PHF and all these things. A lot of players left because they said, we won't play unless it's livable or we get certain livable wage. We have sticks. There's actual arenas to play in. All those kind of things, right? They wanted a CBA. So up until now, the NHL hasn't really been involved outside of like they had that one All-Star game where they brought in the Olympians.
Yeah.
Even that was in the context of the Olympics, not like a professional women's league, right? So now there's a league with a CBA. I think that excuse is kind of gone for the NHL, and it was an excuse. You could have gotten involved before, but I don't have high hopes for this. But I would love for them to, use their power to kind of help grow the women's game as well. Yeah. And by that, what do I mean? I mean things like in the markets where there's women's and men's teams, double headers.
Oh. Okay.
Or even if there's not, even on like just TV, have one before, one after. Yeah. Use like your power to get your NHL fans to watch women's hockey. Yeah. You already know they like hockey. Yeah. Just make it so that there's more eyes on the game.
Would this be kind of like, this is probably a vague example, but you know how the Clippers and not the Kings, the Clippers and Lakers, they kind of share an arena and stuff like that. Yeah. Is this, would it be kind of similar where like it would be like the women's game before and then the men's game at night? Yeah, on the same rink type of deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Like, I think technically the women's arenas, not all of them are going to be the same as the NHL arenas.
I see. Okay,
which is fine. Yeah, but for a game or two, you can have them play. Yeah, and if you really can't, then at least on TV, right? Have it so that it's like back to back, right? Like imagine, let's say Sunday, you just have hockey all day. Yeah, you can get the women's league involved, you can get the AHL involved, you can get the NHL. You could just have it on all day. Yeah. And not me as a hockey fan, I'd love that. If I had a free Sunday, I'd just turn it on. Yeah. The NFL already does it. Yeah. They just have games all Sunday.
Even Saturday. College football's all day.
Yeah, college football's all day. Yeah. Right? So the women's league is already like at the tail end of NFL season. It starts in like January. So I think you could probably find a day, even if it's not Sunday. Yeah. To just have hockey on all day.
Yeah. That would also be extremely helpful in the summertime. Because how often have even in these episodes where it was just like, we don't have much to talk about, we're just going to talk about something else. I was like, you have an entire 3-month slot where you could put women's hockey.
Yeah, isn't that what the WNBA does?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, we can just do that. Obviously, there's like the temperature stuff.
Yeah, that's the ice isn't that great.
Yeah, that's a concern, but
I feel like that's solvable, right? Yeah, it's 2023. You can't get ice in the summer.
Yeah, it's just if you can go ice skating on like public ice in the middle of summer, I feel like you can.
Okay. To be fair, they're probably expecting higher quality ice than what you and I public ice skate
Of course, yes. But like, it's possible. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, there's a slot for this. And yeah, it would be cool to see the NHL help out with that.
Yeah. Like, I don't have high hopes given the fact that 5 people complained about Pride jerseys and they decided to just say, nope.
Yeah, but, true. That is true.
Again, we want to give you money. Yeah. Just make it easy.
Yeah, just make it easier. Yeah.
And like maybe even like promo nights or something where you have like women's jerseys available for sale before the game along with the men's jerseys. If you guys are doing like autograph signings, have both teams there. Yeah. Those just get them involved. Yeah.
Right? I think the best way to go about it is you have to slowly introduce it and kind of go hand in hand. Like it has to be kind of affiliated, and then maybe eventually it can be their own thing, like similar to the WNBA. Yeah. But you got to start from somewhere, and like again, it's not the NHL's responsibility to grow this, but it would be cool if they did. Yeah. So
and like you have the chance to do something great for society here for hockey.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like
hockey is for everyone, isn't it? Yeah. So prove it.
Just take the chance.
Yeah. Just take the chance. Yeah.
Let's kind of wrap this up here with the last question for our fans here. Yeah. Let's say they're new to the NHL, new to hockey maybe. Why should they watch the NHL this year?
Honestly, I don't think this year or even next year, I don't think any of these years makes a huge difference, in the sense that the only way you actually get into something is by starting. So why not watch the NHL, I guess? Yeah, I don't think when we started watching, we were just kind of introduced to it by friends, teachers, whatever, and then we just eventually started following the Sharks. Just pick a team and watch. Just watch. At least for this year, I have no personal investment. As you said, it's the dark days with the Sharks. It's right in the middle. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Sharks games. And this is probably the first time I'm going to just watch what's convenient and watch
hockey.
I'll watch hockey without expectations. You know what I mean? I don't have an intense investment into anyone, and it's kind of liberating. And if you're a new fan, you're kind of the same way. So why not watch hockey? I don't think there's a particular reason or you have to watch it this year. That's all. I would
disagree.
Really?
I would say I haven't this year, out of all the years we've watched, it's been what, 15 years now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. This is the most talent I've seen in the league, I would say.
You think?
I think it's
in terms of youthful, or just...
Yeah, the amount of concentrated talent and skill and excitement. I don't think I've seen a league like this in a long time.
Okay.
Maybe I'm biased.
Yeah.
Because of what I like to watch.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
That's one exciting player that's going to be starting this year, right? Can we talk about the rivalry between Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews? Both of those players are just now entering their primes.
Yeah.
This is like peak McDavid and Matthews.
Yeah.
And it's reminding me of peak Ovechkin Crosby.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the example I had. Yeah.
And not to say Ovechkin Crosby's done either. Ovechkin's chasing a Gretzky record.
Yeah.
Crosby's going for cup number 4 on a stacked Pittsburgh team.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of talent there, and I haven't even named all of them, right? Like, you give me a team. Any team.
Ottawa.
Drake Batherson just had a killer preseason game.
Yeah.
Tarasenko out there redeeming his his career.
Claude Giroux.
And Claude Giroux being the elder statesman now. And, I feel like he didn't get his due in Philly sometimes.
No.
And I hope he gets it in Ottawa. Korpisalo picking up a starting goaltending. And then I didn't even talk about Thomas Chabot, Timmy Stutzla.
Yeah.
Those are the core, along with Jake Sanderson, who they just give a big contract to.
That is true.
You pick any team in the league, even the terrible ones.
Yeah.
They probably have someone exciting and new starting.
So would you say the league's become, maybe not particularly this year, but in general, it's become a little bit more hyper competitive, and the bar has been raised higher? Is that what you're saying?
The type of player that excels these days are more exciting to watch. And every team, it's been long enough that's been the case, that every team now has someone exciting to watch.
That is true. That the sport has evolved to the point where, that meme where it's like, oh, what are they feeding these kids?
Yeah.
Those kids are now playing hockey professionally in the NHL.
Yeah. Have you seen Tage Thompson in Buffalo?
Yeah.
What a crazy absolute animal.
Yeah. And Buffalo still didn't make the playoffs. And it's like, that's not shitting on Buffalo. That's just how crazy the league is.
Yeah. And to be fair, that division was stacked last year.
Yeah.
Like, they have a solid chance this year of making the playoffs.
Yeah, they do.
I think we talked about it in the previews.
Yeah.
But any team, there's someone exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Even the two last teams in the bottom 3 last year were what? Anaheim, Chicago, and
Columbus, I think it was.
Columbus or San Jose? One of them.
I think it was Columbus. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's say those 3, right?
Yeah.
Chicago already talked about Bedard.
Yeah.
Anaheim's got Trevor Zegras, Troy Terry.
That's true. Yeah.
The Sharks, William Eklund, Thomas Bordelot. Columbus, Adam Fantilli, Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine. Even the bad teams have someone exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think you can start watching hockey this year and be bored.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. There's some sports in general where it's just like, why the hell am I here? This is a long game. And it's almost like a background thing.
Yeah.
But I don't ever feel that way about like you said, even the bad teams. I'm still going to watch the Sharks games. If it's convenient for me to watch them, yeah, I'm going to watch them. But
just today, I was taking a coffee break and I was like, I wonder if there's a game on. It was Panthers versus Senators preseason game. Like, screw it, I'll watch.
Yeah.
And I just saw Drake Batherson play like an insane game. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
4-point night.
4? Oh my God. Did they score 4? So he assisted on everything?
Assisted or scored on all of them.
Jeez. Dang. Wow. Okay, yeah. So there's teams that are not necessarily making the playoffs, but there's still something to watch there. And I think that's what's good about the regular season too. Obviously, it's easy to get caught up in playoffs hype, but there's a lot of unspoken talent, even on teams like, Minnesota. Remember when, what was it, Kirill the Kid?
Yeah, Kirill the Thrill.
Kirill the Thrill, that's what it was. Yeah, Kirill the Thrill. He just put up that monster season, and all of a sudden Minnesota was on the map, and players were starting to sign there.
And he's still exciting to watch.
He's still exciting to watch, yeah, that's what I mean. So the regular season is hockey is back, and you can just enjoy good hockey. It doesn't have to be Pittsburgh, Crosby, Malkin, or Washington, Ovechkin, TJ Oshie. It doesn't have to be that type of level. Just it's good hockey, and it's widely available.
And you can pick any team. Pick your local team if you want.
Yeah.
Pick some team because you like their color. Pick some team because they're your favorite animal's their mascot. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Any team. Someone exciting is there.
Yeah.
And
to say hockey is boring at any point, it's just not true anymore.
You're not paying attention.
You're not paying attention, yeah. Or you didn't learn the rules, whatever. You're not invested enough. It's just not true anymore.
Yeah.
These kids are crazy, and it's not just the kids. They're just insane amounts of talent that you won't see elsewhere.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. If you are getting into hockey, this is a fantastic time to get into
Just start. Yeah. Just start.
And I don't know how long this level of talent's going to last.
Yeah.
So I'd say start now.
Yeah. Facts. Okay. There you go.
It always comes in waves, right?
Yeah.
At some point, talent will dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're riding the wave. We're going up right now.
Yeah.
Catch on right now.
We might be peaking soon.
Yeah.
After this generation of McDavid, Matthews, it might dip.
That is true. Know. That is true. Since 15. So, which is not even 10 years yet, actually. We've had McDavid, Matthews, Bedard. I think Thompson was also in there.
Thompson, Jason Robertson, Marner, Nylander.
We could sit here and name players all day. Yeah. But this is a level of talent that obviously there's talented players out there, but this is just untapped potential, I guess.
Yeah.
This is unreal.
And it's not even talking about players who could have bounce backs like Patrick Laine,
Yeah. Patrick Laine, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Jeez Louise. Yeah. There's a lot of talent out there. Just watch. Just start watching.
Absolutely. Do you feel ready? Do you feel checked in?
I do, honestly. I can't remember the last time I was this excited to start watching a season again. And the fact that I'm not particularly invested in one player or one team has broadened my expectations completely. And I'm just here to watch hockey. I'm just here to just have a good time, So I'm very excited.
All right. Last question to end the episode.
Yes.
Opening night, there are 3 games on. Mm-hmm. Which one are you watching? It is Predators at the Lightning, Blackhawks at the Penguins, Kraken at the Golden Knights.
I think there's one very correct answer here.
Blackhawks. The Penguins.
Yeah, that's
Connor Bedard
and
versus
Carlson,
Sidney Crosby.
And Carlson on a new team.
Yeah. I was like, we're watching that.
We're watching that, yeah. Come on. The whole league's watching that. Yeah. So,
and when that game ends is when the Kraken Knights game starts. So if you want to watch both.
I might just have to post up the whole.
Yeah.
What is that, a Monday? Hopefully not.
That's a Tuesday.
Oh, God. Dang. All right, I'm going to have to
get... the Preds Lightning game starts at 2:30 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch that one. West Coast, unfortunately. But yeah, I might have to get my work done early and post up the rest of the night.
All right, and we hope you all are excited. This has been Glass Seats. We're out every week, and starting next week, we will be back to our regular news episodes. We'll keep you caught up on all the stories of the NHL. Mm-hmm. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple, and Google. If you want to see our faces, we have YouTube and Instagram at Spud Network Podcast is a handle. You can check out this show. You can check out our other shows. And please just comment, whatever helps us grow the show. We'll catch you next episode.
Bye.